LOL, LOL. Oh,
Hello, 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 hello.
hello. That's staying in. I'm not even
It is, yeah. I mean, might as well.
for bands.
We should
Absolutely
do that every
failed.
time now.
Yeah, failed intro, but we go. We continue. Welcome back to B2B Sports Podcast, episode 30, I think. Racking up the big numbers now. Sam is here, standard.
As always.
As always. Yeah, we didn't record last week. Sam was finishing his uni degree.
Yes.
But we have a few weeks spare now that we can sort of pump out some eps before the end of the season. And then we might have a little bit of a summer break and sort of a bit of a rebrand. But bit of a rebrand, you know. Got to keep the audience on their toes and all that.
Exactly.
Let's start with football. We've got to start with the FA Cup final. Bit of a recap. I'm gutted. I'm not going to lie. Again, lost on penalties. It was 0-0, but it was an entertaining 0-0. I can't lie. It was lots and lots of chances for both sides. Again, I think the League Cup final with Liverpool ended in 0-0 as well.
Yeah, it did.
Strange, but yeah, Chelsea played well, to be fair to you. Liverpool bossed the first 15-20 minutes. Chelsea came back into it at the end of the first half. Some big chances. I think Pulisic dragged one just wide of the post. Wasteful again, Pulisic, man. Big Romstad.
LeBron James of football, okay.
Right, yeah. LeBron James of football. Big Romstad, to be fair, which was a little bit of a surprise. I think Kai Havertz had a little bit of an injury, so he wasn't even in the squad. But again, Lukaku didn't do a lot, didn't offer a lot.
Didn't do himself any favours.
No. I think on the Liverpool side of things, they had quite a lot of injuries. Mo Salah went down. I don't know what was his injury. Did you know what it was?
I didn't actually watch the game, so I was mama mirroring in the Ep30, so that's what I was doing. Better than watching Liverpool and Chelsea. But yeah, I haven't heard what his injury is.
No, I think
whether he'll play.
On FPL, it says a muscle-related injury. Then obviously they lost Van Dijk later in the game, and then obviously going to extra time, and then to penalties. I can't believe it, Mason Mount. You're the chosen one. You're meant to be the new saviour of Chelsea.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was surprised he wasn't in the top 5 penalty takers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting choice.
Yeah. So Azpilicueta, as we go back a little bit into the penalty shootout, Azpilicueta missed. He hit the outside the post. And
so he missed.
He missed.
Yeah. I mean, how do you miss the goal?
I don't know. I've seen worse.
I think as a professional footballer, if you miss the goal, you should automatically lose.
Wow, strong words.
In a penalty shootout, that's awful.
I'm sure there's been a couple of United players that have skied it.
Oh, many, but at the moment, Chelsea have done it.
Yeah.
Man United are awful in different ways this year. So
yeah,
I think, in fact, we went out penalty shootout anyway against Middlesbrough because somebody skied it. So, and I think it's awful. Yeah, I think it's bad.
And then Mane took the 5th and final penalty for Liverpool to win it, and his Senegalese teammate Mendy saved it, which was interesting. What do you think? I was certain that Chelsea were going to change their goalkeeper. I was certain.
I'm surprised. I mean, obviously, last time you did it was the League Cup, and he's the one that lost it for you.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm surprised in the fact that it seems to be something you always do. So to not do it seems like Tuchel may have lost faith in Kepa a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. There must have been a bit,
especially because he got. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, in that penalty shootout, yeah, they brought him on to do the job, but all the penalties were awesome. I think fair enough go with Mendy, and he proved.
Yeah, he
can do it. Yeah,
he gave the vital penalty to keep Chelsea in it, going into sudden death. And then Hakim Ziyech put a worldy penalty away. I think the 6th one, and then Mason Mount took the 7th. just not convincing. It's one of those, isn't it, with penalties? Like if the keeper dives the wrong way, like, oh, good penalty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if the keeper dives the right way and it's not right in the corner, it looks awful, doesn't it? So
I think I saw there was on Twitter a conspiracy that after he saved it because it went up in the air.
Yeah, didn't
it span back, yeah, and the goalkeeper like stopped it from going in. Technically, he's not allowed to do that. Apparently, like, he's meant to just leave it, or the referee's meant to blow the whistle, or like signal that's the end of that shot. But so it's interesting.
I did think that at the time, but then again, I didn't want to be a bitter Chelsea fan just blaming it every.
No, I know.
Every right, but
I just think it's interesting. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, penalties are luck of the draw anyway, but it would be a shame for that to happen, something like that.
Yeah, you see it on like YouTube compilations all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Keepers like saved it, gone off celebrating, and the ball's like bouncing, backspinning, back into
exactly.
The goal. And then yeah, Tomiskas of all people stepped up and slotted it nicely done in the bottom left corner. And that was it. Good night, Vienna. Liverpool won. Turned off the TV. That was that. Couldn't see Liverpool lift the trophy, that's for sure.
Fairs.
But yeah, gutted, absolutely gutted. Never mind. We go again next year, I suppose. But what do you think of the Premier League? It was a bit of a crazy weekend. Sunday, should have said. There was no game on Saturday, but did you keep up the Man City West Ham game? That was a bit chaotic.
I not much, but I was looking at the updates and just a bit mad. I mean, Jared Bowen going on a mad one,
yeah,
and then West Ham just capitulating.
They bottled it.
I mean, they should have lost the game.
Yeah, they did lose the game. They didn't lose the game. They drew.
They drew. Yeah, they drew.
The
penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, the penalty. Yeah. Don't know why. I just had that ingrained in my head that Man City won.
No, they should have done. But yeah, that was wild. Leeds have managed to claw their way out of the bottom three. And then it was all on Everton, and they got 2 guys sent off. They were down to 9 men. Everton
are the definition of chaotic, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, they just go from one extreme to the other. Like, they don't help themselves. Similar to Leeds.
Yeah.
When they played Chelsea and stuff, and they've had a couple of players sent off, like Dan James. They just lose their heads. Like, I don't know.
They do. They say it's passion, but it's probably a bit of stupidity in some way.
It's exciting though. It goes down to it's going to go down to the final day, isn't it? Like the title race.
Liverpool are losing this week.
You think they're going to lose to Southampton?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big shout considering Southampton have been awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's happening. Southampton are a bogey team for City as well. It's going to be a bogey team for Liverpool, who would probably be without Salah and Van Dijk.
That's true. You have a point.
Because there's no point. They should feel that they're strong enough without them to still win that game.
Yeah.
They probably won't play, and they want to rest them anyway for Champions League.
100%. When is the Champions League final? It's not this weekend. It's next week.
28th, I think.
Yeah.
The week after.
Yeah.
So it should be after the Premier League is finished.
It should be, although the Premier League just seems to be rolling on forever, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, there's only 1 game week left.
Yeah.
Proper game week, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I think when it all properly end is the 22nd. So this weekend.
22nd. Oh yeah, right. Because we've got midweek games now.
Yeah, we've got an Arsenal game going on in 2 minutes' time.
And it's against Newcastle. That's a big game. That's a big game for the top 4. If Arsenal bottle that, then Tottenham are just going to sweep right in and pinch that spot. They picked up.
I kind of want them to, just because it's funny.
Yeah, okay. They picked up a 1-0 win, didn't they, at the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtesy of a penalty by Harry Kane. Okay. I think it was a bit of a drab game, to be honest, but Spurs got it done in the least Spursy way. Like they managed to go somewhere and just grind out a 1-0 win.
That's very true. Although I didn't watch the game, but I would imagine that Burnley put a lot of players behind the ball.
Probably.
Just
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's going to go down to the final day, relegation battle, top four battle, and the title race. If Liverpool don't bottle it in the next couple of days. Also, going back to West Ham, Mark Noble's final game as a West Ham player.
West Ham, yeah,
bit of a legend.
Very much so. I think, like, as far as West Ham goes, he is Mr. West Ham. He's been there forever. Yeah, I think it'll be. I wouldn't say it's like sad to see him go, because he, like, in terms of like amazing careers, he hasn't had the most amazing career, but he's been very loyal to the club, and he said he's Mr. West Ham. I think that's quite a cool thing.
Do you think Declan Rice can emulate Mark Noble?
If he stays, well, he's staying. Did he sign the contract?
No, well,
or was he offered it?
I think he was offered it. I don't think
he's 7 years, like 200 mil.
Yeah, it's a long deal. I don't think he's signed it. I don't think he's said anything about it. So I think this summer will be crunch time, whether that will get signed or not.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best that West Ham could have offered him. It had to be a long-term deal because they couldn't pay that much in short term. It's just whether he'd want to sign a 7-year deal, because you don't really see many players sign deals that long at all. But it'd be good money. But again, he's probably not in the European places. He wants to be up winning trophies, as he said he wants to do. So I think it'd be a very tough decision for him, because he probably won't get that much somewhere else.
Yeah, where are they in the league now? Are they 7th? So
I mean,
they
obviously drew. They're very close to where they probably could overtake us. I think they're 7th or 6th. They are 7th at the moment. So I'm glad they drew that game, because it means we stay 6th, which is delightful. And going into the last day, I think we play Wolves in the last game of the season. Do we? No, we play Crystal Palace. Even better.
Palace.
A better team. Great. Arsenal have Everton. Spurs have Norwich.
That's a win. That's a dub.
Yeah, they're both wins technically, but Norwich on a good day can play really well.
It's a big game for Arsenal tonight. I think Newcastle's a tough team for them. They're in free for all right now. They were comfortably in that top 4 spot a couple of weeks back. Definitely. Now all of a sudden Tottenham come from nowhere.
Yeah. I just think it'd be funny if Arsenal don't get 4th.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to happen? What? So who do you think is going to win the league?
Oh, I think City will win the league.
City will win the league.
Yeah.
I think City are going to win the league easy.
I mean, so Liverpool have to play Southampton, and then they play Wolves, and City play Aston Villa.
Imagine it's the narratives, isn't it?
I know.
Stevie G. Is he gonna help Liverpool win the title, or is he gonna bottle it?
Probably slip. But I think City will win the league. I want City to win the league, because Liverpool potentially winning 4 trophies this year is absolutely disgusting.
It's not. It can't happen. Chelsea have bottled it. That had their chance to stop that. But then who do you think's top 4 then? So who do you think is getting that 3rd and 4th spot?
Well, Chelsea's getting 3rd. I don't think you can mess that up anymore. I mean, if you lose against Leicester, who are back to playing really well.
Yeah, Leicester are playing decent at the minute.
I think they won 5-1 at the weekend. So if you lose to Chelsea, if you lose to Leicester and then lose to Watford, I think who's because you've got a game in hand. So if you lose the next game, Spurs are only 2 points behind you. So they could overtake you on the last day.
They could. We need a win.
Or they could overtake you on the last day, or equal you, but you'd win on goal difference anyway. So I think Chelsea were going to finish 3rd, and I think it'd be funny if Spurs finish 4th.
I'm actually predicting Spurs to finish 4th as well.
Yeah.
I think they've just got a bit of momentum about them at the minute.
Yeah.
And, Harry Kane is firing, Son's firing. I think they've got a bit about them at the minute. I think Arsenal are capitulating a little.
Yeah.
Feeling the pressure. And then who do you think is getting relegated?
I didn't realise Leeds overtook Burnley to go back into the bottom 3. But Burnley have a game in hand.
Is it Leeds, Everton, or Burnley? What's tough?
Who do they have left? What are the remaining games for them? Oh, this is tough. So Burnley have Villa tomorrow. On Thursday, sorry. Which is a tough game. And Everton have Crystal Palace. Tough game for them as well. I want Burnley to stay up. And then Leeds have Brentford. So I could see Leeds losing the last game of the season. Because Brentford are also playing well. Got a good win against Everton. And then Burnley have Newcastle.
Oh.
Which is tough for them. And Everton have Arsenal, which is tough for them. If anything, I would say if Everton lose tomorrow, Everton are probably favourites to get relegated.
That'll be mad.
Even though they're not in 18th, I think they will probably be favourites on the last day.
Mad, because Everton is a huge club, whether you like it or not, whether you like them or not, whether you like Frank Lampard or not. They are a huge Premier League club, and if they go down, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, are they one of the teams that's never been relegated?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, I think they are. So I don't know. I just think through pure chaos that Everton are going to stay up somehow. Yeah. And I think, see, both with Leeds and Burnley, I feel like they did injustices to their managers. Bielsa was, look at the football that Bielsa played with Leeds last year. And then Sean Dyche has done an amazing job at Burnley over a number of seasons. And I feel like they were both hard done by to be sacked in the latter parts of the season. And, I don't like, what do they expect was going to happen sacking those sort of experienced names? And they're both in the drop zone, in contention to be in the drop zone. So I think Burnley are going down. I think Burnley are going down.
No,
I don't think they have enough about them.
Probably fair, but I want Burnley to stay up. More than anything, Burnley to stay up. They deserve it.
Who's going down for you?
I think Leeds.
Leeds. We shall see. And we'll probably end up doing a bit of a end of the season episode next week. And also we'll probably end up doing a little bit of a bonus app with the Corridor of Uncertainty lads to discuss the outcome of our bowl predictions, our league predictions, and our FPL league, which we shall move on to now. What? There's no way out, Sam, is there?
I mean, unless I have a mad final week, which I don't think is going to happen, is it? I don't think so. At the moment, I've got 8 more points than you. So I've clawed back another 8 points so far.
I've had an absolute shock.
This game week. So I'm only 155 away from you. Salah. No, Harry Kane was captain, but I didn't have time to take Salah. I didn't realise Salah was properly injured until it was too late. So I don't know if he'll play.
Yeah.
But Kane got me 12 points, so I'll take that.
Okay.
But I could. There's potential for me to win a cup this year.
Shut up! Here we go.
I might win a cup. It's great.
Not our cup, but you're in another cup with your mates.
No, I'm in another cup. Some friends from York, and currently I am winning this round. I smashed Oliver Bolt in the first round, 86-56. There was one quarter final in this league because there's only 5 of us.
Right.
There's only one quarter final and I had to play it. But smashed him 86-56. And so far I'm 18-13 up in the semi-final.
To be fair, that's unfair. That's unjust. Because your mate that you beat 86, any other week you'd probably got through.
Honestly. It was the one week I did quite well. And yeah. But I'm happy. I'm hoping his team he's captain Salah though. So I'm hoping Salah doesn't play at the same time as wanting him to play. So I feel like if I win the cup, if I win a cup, I've got some silverware this season. Like you guys don't.
I don't.
So does that get me out of doing the forfeit? A bit of silverware.
Definitely not.
And then the next person on the list has to do the forfeit.
No. Why are you spinning this on me? I'm going to try and do Ben.
Yeah, definitely, Ollie. I think definitely you should do the forfeit now. I'm gonna broach that subject with them.
But yeah, the FPL season's winding down, and yeah, it's been a bit of a shambles for both men and Sam recently, to be honest. Apart from Sam in his cup competitions, obviously.
Yeah.
Haaland. Let's talk Haaland. He is going to Man City. The news broke last week. Scenes. What do you think?
I mean, I think when like Aguero left, Pep went on about like not being able to replace him, and they've just gone out and spent like over 100 mil 2 seasons in a row. Which is a bit mad, but it's going to be disgusting next season.
He's going to be.
Although maybe he'll turn out like another Dortmund player who came to Prem in Sancho. Maybe he'll be shit.
Maybe so.
But no, I
do think
being
like
pretty decent.
I do think in terms of like Sancho and stuff, and maybe even Havertz to a point, and Werner, but like they do need a season, you know. I feel like Sancho, I don't think his United career is done. I feel like
no way, and like towards the end of the season, he's been playing a lot better than he did to start with. He didn't even start at the beginning of the season, so but yeah, I think Haaland's going to be a bit ridiculous for them.
It's going to be mad. Can
you imagine actually having a proper striker?
Can you imagine the passes Kevin De Bruyne is going to be laying, like setting him up on a plate?
He's going to love it. It's just going to be unreal. They've probably got a player who fills in a gap in their squad that you could say they had. Probably wasn't a massive gap. I mean, Jesus has just started playing really well, and they can score from any position. I mean, De Bruyne scored 4 the other day.
Man, that was mad. On his left peg as well. Was it 4 on his left peg or a hat trick on his left peg?
I don't know how many it was on his left, but yeah, too many.
It's absolutely nuts. I mean, looking at the City next year, they've got to offload a couple players, surely, because, I mean, the likes of Mahrez, Sterling, even Jesus to a point, like, I don't know, there are going to be teams that are going to be wanting them, and they want to be playing consistent first team football, not in this pep.
It's like Jesus might go to Arsenal, I think.
Yeah.
And that's on the cards.
There's also been a big rumor about Lewandowski to Chelsea.
To Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Oh, I don't want to not like Lewandowski. Can you not go to Chelsea, please?
I don't know if this is paper talk, but obviously the Ted Bowley takeover is sort of being confirmed now. He's come to a few Chelsea games. He went to the FA Cup final, so that's looking like it is going to be done, which puts all this uncertainty away, and we're going to have some, hopefully some money to make some transfers. And Lewandowski would be a good fit. Obviously, Lukaku's not getting on well at the minute, so that we could see offload him. But Levin would be a good move. Would be a good move.
It would be. I think he's definitely a solid striker that will be guaranteed to get you goals.
Yeah, 100% guaranteed goals. Yeah. Also, one story I want to touch on is Northampton Town Football Club, aka the Cobblers. This absolute madness happened last week when we weren't recording, but so we talked about Cobblers in the last episode needing a win to get promotion, and how wrong was I, to be honest?
No, we're just thinking a win will be enough.
A win will be enough. Obviously, Bristol Rovers, who are on the same amount of points as the Cobblers, but they had a -5 goal deficit to the Cobblers. So when I saw that the Cobblers were winning 3-1, I was like, happy days, we're going up in that top 3. And then I saw the Bristol Rovers scoreline, which was 7-0.
Yep.
Absolute
How disgusting is that?
Madness, which took Bristol Rovers up above
goal difference.
The Cobblers on goal difference. I think they have even goal difference in the end. I think it went head to head. I think it went to the next deciding factor.
Possibly, yeah.
Which dropped Cobblers down. Obviously, they are in the playoffs at the minute, but
they lost the first game.
They lost the first game.
Ridiculous.
2-1. He's coming back to Sixfields this week though, so we've still got a chance. But you just can't write it, can you? Absolutely typical Cobblers.
And then it's like they even played like they won 3-1. It was good. They needed to win and they secured it, and just the luck of just 7-0.
People were saying it's a fix, and that what's his name? Who's the Bristol Rovers manager? Joey Barton. Was up to something a little bit dodgy. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how true that is, but absolutely, I could not believe it. I was listening to BBC Radio Northampton in the car, and they were absolutely destroyed.
I can imagine. Just that must be so gut-wrenching.
Horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And like Sam said, they're in the playoffs, but they lost the first leg.
At least they scored a goal.
Yeah, they're over going into their home tie now. So, and I think MK Dons bottled it as well in their playoff in League One.
They lost at least the first. I don't know if they lost both. Yeah, they lost both of them. They lost 2-0 to Wickham. They lost the first game 2-0 to Wickham, and then 1-0.
Yeah.
With 23 shots they had in that game.
Did they?
So Wickham definitely parked the bus.
100%. Big boy Akinfenwa. I think his last game in pro football. I think he's going to retire in the
maybe it'll be the playoff final.
Yeah. So
pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. Good way to go out in it. So
yeah.
And that wraps up football, to be honest. Let's move on to a bit of F1 because the Miami Grand Prix was last weekend. Did it live up to expectation? What do you think? What do you make of the track?
I'm not going to lie. I didn't really like the track. I thought, for one, it's weird. I have a weird feeling with anti-clockwise tracks.
Yeah.
So that was odd in the first place. I thought that they tried to get kind of a bit of a kind of street racing feel to it. The borders were very close, the walls were very close, and the chicanes going uphill I felt were weird. I don't know why. I just didn't enjoy the look of the track. I thought the race was okay.
Yeah, I like the track. I like the track, but I thought the race didn't live up to the expectation of the track.
No. I think the two DRS zones, one was slightly too short and one was slightly too long. In terms of, it was just too easy to overtake at the start straight or wherever it was. But I mean, it adds another one to the calendar. I think there should be at least a few in America. It's massive.
Well, it was good spectacle. It was good spectacle.
Exactly.
It was quite, it was trending, so, and there was loads of famous people there.
Obviously Martin Brundle, the absolute legend. His
Brundle.
Walk was awesome. I find it weird that they let so many celebrities on the track at the beginning.
There was no drive.
That's mad.
There was no drive.
No, it wasn't the drive like hardly any of the drive. I'm not surprised because they would have been just
swamped,
pounded probably. So I find that very weird. I found it weird that they were basically in the pit lane as well.
Strange.
I've never seen that anywhere, and I think that's a bit weird.
I
can get that. They can get that close because literally you can't get anywhere near drivers at any other track. The security is ridiculous. Even if you could get a paddock pass, you're still nowhere near the drivers.
It's so strange, right? Because I mean, the only person that had time of day for Martin Brundle was David Beckham. To be honest, everyone else just blanked him, which was I think funny, but also quite he's a bit harsh. Just made things.
No, I think it's a bit disrespectful to Martin Brundle to expect him to go into that situation, know every single celebrity. He knew, to be fair, he knew a few of them. Obviously, didn't quite know Patrick Mahomes as much. I think it was slightly harsh that nobody really gave him the time of day. All this, I mean, people thought he was just another reporter. Like nobody knew, like none of them knew who he was.
He was, yeah.
Particularly, I mean, DJ Khaled, he was actually quite nice.
Yeah, to be fair, I forgot about him. He actually spoke for just spouting nonsense, but he still spoke.
Which is what he does. But he was actually nice about it. I feel like that was all right. But yeah, so people don't know who he is, and I think that is detrimental to his kind of interviewing, because he goes and interviews somebody. He goes up to them and is like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And they're like, "You're just some random guy, some like TV network." It's like, well, no, he's kind of a bit of a. I wouldn't say he's a legend in the motorsport, because he didn't particularly win much. He raced for a long time, but in terms of the coverage and the commentating, he does all the like the go-karting at Daytona or the safety briefings. He's the one that did all the videos, and I think it's weird that they had so many celebrities on there. Fair enough, a few, but I think it was a bit too packed.
I mean, I know all these celebrities, they go to multiple events and they're just there for the glitz and glamour, and they get invited and stuff. But like it was quite clear that AK Pharrell and Venus Williams, they didn't have a Scooby what was going on. You could have mentioned Joe Bloggs off the street and he's driving for so and so, and they'll be like, "Oh yes." I think it's weird going to an event like that and not having any idea.
No, I'm glad that it's becoming bigger, and like every single event is packed these days, which I think is great. But I think the fact that nobody could get close to the drivers, there was never really anybody on the walk around just before the formation lap or anything. Kind of had this. It was good because no celebrity could get anywhere near them. No normal human being could get anywhere near them. But I think this kind of shows a bit of an elitist edge that these people have. That they can just go mingle with all these people. And the people who are actually motorsport fans have to sit in the stands, boil themselves to death. Because it just gets so hot for as many hours, and I think that was a bit wrong.
Did you see how much though? You know those the fake marina. There's like a swimming pool and stuff. Like tickets for that area, I think was cost like $30,000 or $40,000, and really? Like you saw people like literally as the race was going on, as qualifying was going on, as practice was going on, just swanning around in the pool. This just shows how much money these people have, because if you dropped $40,000 on a ticket, and you're not even watching the event, like what world are you like living in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, it is ridiculous. So that's the one peeve I have about it being in America, because I don't think they have a very different mindset on motorsport.
Yeah, they do.
It's a lot more celebrity status. Obviously Lewis Hamilton has brought that into F1, and it is going that way more and more with obviously social media and stuff, but it's never been as big.
Going back to the race, I mean, we've got to touch on Verstappen because he did get the dub. Mate, that car is unreal. Like even Leclerc had DRS on Verstappen, but because their straight line speed is so good, he wasn't even closing any gap. You know, it wasn't even making a difference with DRS. So
no, and I think that also shows how good he is, kind of in the corners, because the Ferrari seems to be better in the corners. And he does make up time during the lap, but as you said, on the straights, even with the DRS for Leclerc, he got within like I think 3 tenths, and then by the time he got DRS again, he was back to being 8-9 tenths down, so could only make up that small gap again. Verstappen drove great. I think it was relatively easy for him until that safety car, and then he had to fend it off for a few laps, which he did really well. And it was kind of plain sailing a bit.
Another part in that race that I thought was mad was Perez. You know, when Perez lost power, he was screaming at his engineers, "I'm losing power!" And obviously, he was quite funny. I think they were saying, "You haven't got a problem, you're okay." And he was like, "Yeah, I definitely do have a problem. I'm losing like, I don't know, 4 seconds a lap, or whatever it was." Well, I find it mad how they can literally just go, okay, hold on, give us a sec, we'll recharge you. Like, how does that even happen? Like, recharge you from another point, like in
no, the telemetry and the computer stuff that goes into F1 these days is absolutely mad. No. The stuff they see, they can see they've got like temperature sensors everywhere. See the temperature of the tires, how much it's degrading. It's ridiculous. But I thought that was quite interesting. I mean, obviously they interview Horner every single chance they get on Sky Sports. He's the most interviewed person out there, which I find a bit. I feel like they should interview more throughout the race. I understand maybe not all of them have agreed to it, but I do quite like it in terms of the fact when he's saying like Perez has lost power. He's about 20 horsepower down, but he's keeping up with everyone. And it shows you how these drivers are reacting during the race and how hard it is for them in the race. Because you could say Perez didn't really do much all day, but to come fourth, I think he came fourth. Was quite an effort.
It was. He did well. And I think he was fending off. I think was he attacking
Russell.
Yeah, he was fending off Russell, and he was in the mix with Sainz as well. To be fair.
Yeah. Well, he was coming up to say he probably would have overtaken him if he hadn't lost power.
Barcelona up next. I think it's this week. It's race week now. Actually, to be fair, it's Barcelona.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that one. It always seems long with a week's break in the middle, but
it does. It's worse when it's like 3, and you kind of forget about it for like a month, and then it comes back. With like, because I think the summer break's like 3 weeks. But I think it'll be interesting. I feel like Mercedes. I don't understand Mercedes that much. The whole big thing is like Hamilton can't get anywhere. Like, his car's awful. They qualify so low down. Can't make any ground. He's stuck behind, or was it Schumacher or Magnussen for like the whole race. But then there's George Russell, who was down in 15th after the after the first lap.
But then that
finished 5th.
Even that doesn't make sense in George Russell, because in Miami, I think in practice 2 or practice 3, he finished like top or second or something. Like, he had extreme like quality pace. Come to qualifying, he got knocked out of Q2. I think he started like 13th, 14th on the grid, and then lost a couple of places at the start. Obviously, quality driving. I think they went on the hard tire, and I think he sort of
did really well. He didn't change tires. He was on, like I said, I think on the hard tire for so long, and that literally their radio message was like, hopefully we might get a safety car. Literally 2 laps later, I think they got a safety car. It was perfect timing. Their strategy just nailed it. But he's outdoing Hamilton easily at the moment. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Apparently, Toto has said that there's a possibility they could go back to their old kind of their old car that has the side pods, which is technically slower on paper. Which he said, like, we know it's slower on paper, but for some reason this isn't fast on paper and fast on the track. So it might be worth having a look at. So it'd be interesting if they come to Barcelona in a completely different car.
Yeah, I don't know much about Barcelona, to be honest. Obviously, this is like my first proper year of watching every single race, so I'm not too familiar with Barcelona. Obviously, Sainz and
Catalonia. Yeah, I think Sainz will do well here. I think he likes Barca. It's a good track. Driven it a few times on F1 20. F1 game on a game. So, but yeah, I think it's got a good long straight. I think at the start finish line. But yeah, I think it will favour Red Bull again. To be honest,
going to Ferrari, Leclerc, he's had another howler. Did you see him? He crashed in Monaco.
In the classics. With the classic. Well, literally, it was whose car was it?
Oh, it was
an ex-driver's like F1 car.
Niki Lauda, wasn't it? Niki Lauda.
Was it Niki Lauda's?
Yeah.
Apparently the brakes just broke.
Yeah, he just didn't. He just like.
He apparently he said he put his foot down, and there was obviously resistance, and then it just went, and he was like, "Oh shit." But yeah, I think the guy who owned the car like was walking with them, was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Obviously, like, you're okay. That's the main thing." But yeah, it's a bit mad.
I don't think he's had much luck in Monaco.
No, but he's still leading the championship. Oh no, yeah. Oh, in Monaco, no, he's a dreadful luck.
Yeah, I think he's crashed out there. Just bad strategy for Yonks. So.
Well, they keep saying that this year probably Monaco's an instant win for Verstappen.
Yeah. Whoever just wins qualifying, which is most likely Verstappen.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, I would think in Monaco the Ferrari would have the upper hand with the cornering. So it will be interesting to see, because I think Leclerc should get pole. To be honest, he drives really well there.
Yeah, he knows that track like the back of his hand.
Yeah, he lives there.
Yeah, he
drives it every day. He's Monegasque. He's a Monegascan. One of them. One of them. But yeah, he's
on his Instagram the other day, like he was just at the gym and he looked out the window, the window at his gym, and it was just the Formula E just going around. Like it's just mad. Like the views from Monaco and like views from his gym, it's just mental. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, they don't half the drivers live in Monaco now, anyway.
Yeah, I think quite a few. I mean, I don't know if quite a few do, because it's so cramped now.
Okay, it looks it.
Yeah, and like looking out, places that used to have a view of the sea, like they're now building like a block of flats like almost on the sea. It's a mad place.
Yeah, it seems it.
Absolutely mad.
Cricket. Let's touch a bit on cricket, because I don't know if you've seen Sam, James Anderson and Joe Root going head to head. Well, they were going head to head in the county championship. I think Lancashire and Yorkshire did end in a draw, I believe.
I don't know, to be honest. I didn't see I just saw the video of like all the balls from James Anderson to.
That video was epic. Like it's a 3 minute, maybe 3.5 minute long video of just all of James Anderson's deliveries to Joe Root in innings. Tense stuff. Put a bit of background music. It got dramatic. Yeah. And then in the end, James Anderson bowled him.
Great ball.
2 stumps out of the ground. It was lovely. It was a peach.
Absolute corker.
Although I feel like Joe Root, maybe in the first innings or second innings, he did get a ton. I swear he got 120.
Did he?
So,
Jesus.
But yeah, do you think there's a bit of beef there?
I don't think so, to be honest.
You don't think that?
Because I feel like that Joe knows he did not select him. No. I don't think there's any beef there. I think they're both quite good friends. I think they've gone through so much with England. I don't think there's beef there. I think it's the most beef there would be is just the competitiveness of getting your mate out.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is great.
100%. And then Brendon McCullum is taking over the England job, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Test side.
It is weird. I'm not sure. I don't know how to feel about it.
No, I'm not sure, because didn't he coach white ball cricket before this job? And he was obviously.
I honestly don't know.
He was a great one-day player. Obviously, played all three formats, I think, for New Zealand. But yeah, it's interesting. I haven't heard much about him in coaching roles before, and he's sort of all of a sudden came out of the woodwork. But yeah, one job for him: get Matt Parkinson in that squad.
Yeah,
he's ripping leg spinner in that squad. I want to see him.
They haven't got him in there yet. It doesn't make it. Obviously, the selection was all over the place anyway. So
yeah, what more does the guy need to do? I don't get. It's like probably the best spinner at the moment in the county championship, and he's still not even in the England setup. Like, it's mad.
No.
Mad.
Brendon McCullum can change things.
Fingers crossed. Did you see that Andrew Simmons died? The Australian all-rounder, 46 years old. He died from a car crash. The car accident. Madness. So sad times. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family in that, because that's not good. Not good at all. NFL, Vikings are coming to London.
They're coming to London.
Let's go. I'm buzzing.
That's so exciting.
I'm buzzing. We talked about it last week that one of our teams got a good chance, and the Vikings got selected. Signed up for pre-release, so I think that comes out in June, sometimes in June. I think
probably. I think it is. But yeah, buzzing. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, work is getting binned off for ticket release
Monday. And yeah, to be fair, I'll be off as well. But obviously, last time you got it anyway before me.
At least like it'll be on my phone, it'll be on my laptop. You'll be on your phone probably, and then we'll try and get tickets on at once. But yeah, I can't wait. Although I don't want to build myself up too much because if I don't get tickets, I'll probably be distraught. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we got tickets last time, so I feel like we've got a good chance. Good chance.
And I feel like because the Packers, it's the first time Packers coming to London. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers got that game.
There's going to be a lot of people going for those.
If that game could be the key.
Yeah, the Saints Vikings isn't the biggest game that's going on.
No.
Like you've got an MVP coming.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is massive. Absolutely.
So I think that will be hopefully be the bigger draw. But yeah, we want to go see the Vikings.
Definitely, mate. I've seen them twice before.
So I can go support the Saints.
Why do that?
I want to see Jameis Winston throwing bombs.
Right. Let's talk about the Saints actually, because there's been a bit of news about them this week. Drew Brees has stepped down from his role at NBC, and there's a lot of rumors like, is he going to come back?
I thought he'd signed him like a multi-year deal.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, weird.
I don't think it's going to happen. Can't.
I don't think he can. I mean, I think that's one. He was at the end.
Yeah.
Like all he was throwing was screen passes, basically to Michael Thomas.
Or throwing.
Yeah. So I don't think he should come back. I mean, I think he should come back as a coaching role, definitely. Like obviously, Sean Payton's not there anymore, so to have Drew Brees in the building would be very useful.
Yeah, it would.
But I think he tweeted out saying like he hasn't decided what he's going to do. He could go coach like high school football, or he could just stay at home, or he hasn't decided whatever. But yeah, I don't think he'll play again.
Hasn't Landry signed with the Saints?
Yeah, mate. They've got some weapons now. To be honest,
they're building a team. I'm not convinced by Winston though.
Not convinced. No, but I mean, he has played well when they played him.
Just his deep ball, just like if I was a Saints fan, his deep ball just scare me because it's either on the money, like he throws yardage, or he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh, so
it's tough. It is tough.
Did you hear that Tom Brady has signed a deal to become an analyst after
$375 million?
Thanks.
More than he's made playing football.
Absolutely mad.
Do you know
insane. What is it with Fox, or who's it with? ESPN, NFL Network, or whatever. I don't know.
I think it's Fox. I think you're right. I think it will be Fox, but
it's mad money, absolute mad money.
I mean, it had to be mad money because all of them would have been throwing money at him. So I had to stick one way, but it is ridiculous. I think, and I hope he's good. That's the thing. Like, obviously, greatest QB of all time. He's quite good in interviews, so I feel like he will be good.
Yeah.
On TV, kind of calling plays and doing some games. I
feel
think it'll
like
be good to watch.
I feel like QBs especially because they're really good behind in the booth, you know, because they're so used to reading the offense and like
Tony Romo is
he just predicts
doing bits.
So
yeah.
And I feel like if you've got that about you, if you can predict the play, or if you can call the play before it even happens, like that, people are going to tune in to watch that, aren't they?
It's much more analytical. I think that's why people like the Manning brothers have their show where they basically do a watch along of the games, and just chat shit and call plays, and then they have their like guests on. I think they had Russell Wilson at one point. And they were talking about, I think, some event like him and his wife went to, and she was wearing his Super Bowl ring.
Right.
His wife was wearing a Super Bowl ring, and Peyton Manning was like, "Yeah, she's got my ring on there that you took from me." It's pretty good. That, but apparently the Mannings want to get into ownership
I heard that as well, and I heard that that Brady might be in the mix as well with Peyton. They might link up and look at.
How mad is that? If Tom Brady, Eli Manning, and Peyton Manning owned an NFL team,
owned the club.
How insane would that be?
Well, Tom Brady with that analyst broadcasting deal money, he's well on his way to becoming a probably billionaire and owning a football club.
I think he probably is, or very close to being a billionaire anyway. I think he's earned like 330 million just from the NFL, not without sponsorships. And obviously he has his TB12 business, which is everywhere. So yeah, and obviously like people still buy shirts with his name on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And he gets a proportion of that. It's not very much, I don't think, but the amount of people that buy his shirts is ridiculous.
Going on a bit of a tangent, there's a shop in MK. I swear it's new. It's called Lids. So they do like snapbacks and caps for English football teams and American sports. And not only do they do caps, but they do jerseys as well. So they've got like Montana jersey. They've got Dan Marino jersey. They've got Tom Brady jersey. They've also got Michael Jordan jersey, Scottie Pippen jersey, Steph Curry. They've got baseball teams. But I was saying to my mate Callum, I was like, don't you think like the American sports jersey there's just something extra about them? I don't know why. I feel like they're cooler in a way than.
I don't know why. Yeah, they seem like a thicker material.
Yeah.
In the first place, but yeah, I know what you mean. They do feel some way better made, better quality. I don't know.
Just than the standard. Maybe because we're used to English football kits for our whole lives, then
maybe
American sports is just a little bit new, a little bit alien still. But I don't know. I thought that was cool. Tennis. Let's talk a bit about tennis because we mentioned on Twitter. And he's tearing the game up right now.
He's so good.
Tell me a bit. Tell us a bit about him, Sam.
I mean, he's this 19-year-old kid. I think last year or the year before, he was ranked like 300th in the world, and he's just tearing through everyone at the moment. At the Madrid Open, I think he beat Nadal and then Djokovic back to back on clay, which has never been done. Never. And I just think that's insane.
Well, he's just sort of come out of nowhere, like over the past.
Yeah, in the last year, in the past year, he's shot up the rankings. He's now, I think, in the top 10. I definitely think he'll be a number one at some point. Definitely looking like he's going in that direction. And yeah, he's kind of on top of the world at the moment. It'd be interesting to see him at the French Open. Because obviously, I mean, Nadal's fighting fitness for it, and obviously Djokovic is back to somewhat form. He won the Italian Open the other day against Tsitsipas, demolished him 6-love, 6-2, I think. So I think he'll have his work cut out, but he's going places.
He's going to tear up the game. And for Wimbledon, aren't Russian athletes still banned at this current time?
I think so. Russian and Bulgarian. No, Belarusian.
Belarusian. Why Belarus?
Belarusian. Because apparently they're helping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, Belarus is apparently in favour of.
Yeah, I've heard that Danny Medvedev has come out and said he's like sort of argument against that and that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting.
I think it's a tough situation.
Tough situation.
I think Wimbledon probably right to do something. Are they right to do that? I don't know. It's just difficult.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Wimbledon's not till June time, so July. So we'll see if that
mid-July. Yeah.
We'll see if that ruling's still in place. But it's a difficult decision, and that pretty much wraps up the podcast. Any shockers or heroes of the week? Shocker. I'm going to say what you sort of touched on earlier. I think Sky Sports for constantly interviewing Christian Horner and no one else during an F1 race.
Yeah, I do think it needs to be more people.
Because they only talk to him. Like, I mean, granted, like there are people that probably don't want to, contractually, don't want to talk to the Sky Sports, but yeah, it's just too much Horner, and he just seems to love the limelight as well. He just seems to love it.
He does. I mean, yeah. I mean, as much as interviewing a principal, I think it's good during the race. Gives an in-depth view of what they're thinking, what their strategy is. I think that's quite good. But yeah, the amount of times they do it is quite a lot.
Yeah.
And he seems to be the only person that they do talk to. It might not be their Sky Sports fault, but yeah, it seems a bit much at the moment.
Any heroes of the week for you?
Martin Brundle for me.
Martin Brundle.
Just because I love because even though he may not have known many people and they didn't know him, he still absolutely owns that walk.
He does.
Like, he will talk to anyone, regardless who they are. He doesn't take any shit. I think one of them, he walked up to and said, "I don't know who you are, but you look exciting. Like, who are you?" And he goes, and he said, "I'm a social media sensation."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, modest then," which is just great. And then because they weren't even paying attention to him, so he's like, "You will pay attention to me. I'll be in your face." So yeah, I think he's great.
I stumbled upon Martin Brundle TikTok, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's just all of his sort of highlighted and funny clips of him doing grid walks over the past like years, however long he's done F1 commentating. And one of them, he was like he was standing waiting to talk to a driver, and he was like, "This woman's gonna brake check me. This woman's gonna get in front of me," and you can see the camera pans to her, and she's like, she's standing right next to the driver, just about to get an interview. She's poking the driver in the back, raring to go.
Yeah. And
the driver turns round, ready to answer a question, and Martin Brundle just gets straight in there, shoves the microphone under his mouth, and then it goes. And then I think afterwards he walks off and goes, "She weren't going to beat me." Like,
he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
Also, I saw for hero nominations, I saw Haaland dancing in a nightclub with his Dortmund training jacket, which is pretty funny.
I think it was full kit. I think he had the trousers and everything. He was absolutely full kit wanker. And it was great. He must have been so sweaty.
Honestly, I don't know what he was doing. He was just bouncing up and down like in a weird, like, sort of motion, like a penguin. I don't know what he was doing, but
just been sold for like 80 mil.
Yeah, just win some trophies. Like,
I did find it weird that they had like a sending off for him. Yeah, he's played like less than 100 games.
Yeah,
like, he's sick, but he's not like a club legend, I wouldn't say.
It's like Birmingham when they retired Jude Bellingham shirt.
Literally. I still find that ridiculous.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, I think it's just come out this evening that Jake Daniels, I believe, of Blackpool, is the first footballer in the UK to come out gay. So fair play to him. You know, that's probably a massive, brave thing to do, to come out and
he didn't have to do it. It's obviously he didn't have to tell anyone. But yeah, it's very brave. First one since I think the 70s.
I think
to come out openly as gay.
Think about it, that's crazy, isn't it? That's actually...
Yeah. What it's just the awful stigma that gay men get in football is awful.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. We're like, it's 2022. It shouldn't matter if whoever, your sexuality or whatever. It shouldn't matter. But we know that football environment can be a toxic place, and it can be sort of, daunting to come out, and so I commend him for it.
100%. And like, you obviously hope that changing rooms are moving forward and stuff. Obviously, the Crawley Town news doesn't help.
No, what was that? What was that?
Their manager had apparently he had segregated changing rooms.
Jesus Christ!
Which I don't know how you get away with in this day and age. Like,
it's mad.
How does that even happen? It's just awful.
Like, that's not just the manager. That's from top down, though, isn't it? Like,
you'd think. I don't know whether did nobody say anything about it? Was it? I don't understand how that happens, and it can be let to happen. Like, surely the players are like, weird. Yeah.
So
very odd.
Very odd. But yeah, that wraps up the podcast this week. As we talked about earlier, I think we'll be back next week with sort of a little Prem recap of the season, maybe some team of the season award kind of things. But yeah, we'll probably be back sometime next week. And enjoy the week of sport and see what happens with Arsenal tonight, I guess.
Still 0-0 at half time.
Still 0-0. Okay, nice one. All right. Have a good one. See you in a bit.
In a bit.